His fingers grazed the bare skin beneath my dress, bold and unyielding, finding the heat of my desire. "God, Emily," he whispered, his breath hot against my neck, "you're burning up." My heart pounded, torn between the thrill of his touch and the fear of being caught. My husband just a room away, oblivious. How did I let it go this far? I'm Emily, 35, married to Tom, with 2 boys, Liam, 5, and Noah, who turned 3 today. We live in Maplewood, New Jersey, in a house filled with toys and love, the kind of place where neighbors wave and kids play in the street. But today, as I stood in my kitchen preparing for Noah's birthday party, a restlessness stirred in me, a hunger I hadn't named in years. Maybe it was the monotony of motherhood, or maybe it was the way I caught Ryan looking at me, Ryan, the single dad with eyes that see too much. I chose a deep burgundy sundress for the party, its wide skirt flaring around my knees, paired with black thigh-high stockings and lace panties, a private rebellion against my role as the perfect wife and mom. The house buzzed with chaos, balloons bobbing, kids shrieking, and Tom playing host, setting up the bounce house in the backyard. I'd spent the morning baking a chocolate cake, its edges uneven but made with love, and arranging snacks on colorful plates. Everything was perfect, except for the flicker of something wild in my chest. The guests arrived, parents from the neighborhood, kids from Liam's preschool, and Ryan with his 4-year-old, Ethan. Ryan's tall, with dark hair and a smile that feels like a secret. I've noticed him before, at school events or block parties, his gaze lingering on me a beat too long, stirring something I tried to ignore. Today, he wore a fitted polo that hugged his shoulders, and when he greeted me, his eyes swept over my dress, quick but deliberate, like he was memorizing me. The party was in full swing when we decided to take the kids to the backyard for games. The May sun warmed the garden, lilacs perfuming the air. I crouched by the back door to tie Noah's sneakers, my skirt fanning out. Ryan was there too, kneeling to help Ethan with his shoes, his face level with mine. My dress had ridden up, and I realized, too late, that he could see right up my skirt, the black lace of my panties exposed. My breath caught, but I didn't move right away. His eyes locked onto the sight, a slow smirk curling his lips. "Nice panties, Emily," he murmured, voice low, "just for me." Heat flooded my face, a mix of embarrassment and something else, something dangerous. I should have laughed, closed my legs, anything. Instead, I met his gaze, frozen. He leaned closer, his voice a whisper. "I can only imagine what's underneath." The words sparked something reckless in me, a thrill I hadn't felt in years. I mumbled something incoherent, stood quickly, and ushered Noah outside, my pulse racing. Ryan's comment clung to me, bold and forbidden, like a match struck in the dark. Back inside, the kids played on the living room floor, blocks and toys scattered everywhere. I sat on the couch beside Tom, his arm around me, warm and familiar. Across from us, parents chatted about school boards and summer plans. Ryan was on the floor, building a Lego castle with Ethan and Noah. I caught him glancing my way, his eyes drifting to where my legs were crossed under my dress. My heart thudded. Without thinking, I shifted, uncrossing my legs and letting my knees part just enough. His gaze sharpened, hungry, and I felt a rush of power. Tom laughed at something a mom said, oblivious, and that only made it more intoxicating. Ryan's eyes kept flickering back, discreet but deliberate, and I was playing with fire now, letting my knees drift wider. The lace of my panties felt like a shared secret, and the thought sent shivers through me. Then, a wild idea took hold, reckless and thrilling. I leaned into Tom and whispered, "I'm going to the bathroom." I slipped away, locking myself in the downstairs bathroom. My reflection stared back, flushed and alive, eyes bright with something I barely recognized. With trembling hands, I slid off my panties, tucking them into my dress pocket. The stockings stayed, their tops hidden just under the hem. I took a deep breath and returned to the couch. When I sat down, I angled myself carefully, letting my skirt ride up. Ryan was still on the floor, and when his eyes found me, I parted my knees slightly. His jaw tightened, a flash of shock and desire crossing his face. He knew, no panties, just bare skin, and the knowledge crackled between us. I was trembling, exhilarated by my own audacity, by the risk of Tom sitting inches away, clueless. The party droned on, but I was barely there, caught in this dangerous game. I could feel Ryan's gaze like a touch, and it stirred something deep, a part of me I'd buried under diapers and dinner routines. Eventually, I stood, offering coffee and tea to the guests to ground myself. I was in the kitchen, setting up the coffee maker, when Ryan appeared. "Need help?" he asked, his voice casual but thick with intent. I nodded, my throat tight. He stepped closer, and I felt the heat of him behind me as I measured coffee grounds. "So," I said, my voice teasing, "was it what you imagined? That treasure you were so curious about?" He laughed softly, stepping so close his breath grazed my neck. "Better than I dreamed," he said. His hand brushed my hip, then slid to my backside, bold and sure. Before I could react, his fingers slipped under my dress, tracing the curve of my thigh, then lower, between my legs. He parted me gently, his touch like a spark, and I gasped as he found how much I wanted this. "Jesus, Emily," he whispered, "you're so hot, so wet." The words, his fingers, the risk, it was too much. But reality slammed back. "We can't," I said, pulling his hand away, my voice shaking. "Someone could walk in." He stepped back, eyes dark but nodding. "You're right." I got carried away. I smoothed my dress, trying to steady myself. "Let's just get the coffee." We carried the trays back, and I avoided his gaze for the rest of the party, though I felt it on me, heavy and knowing. The kids laughed, the parents chatted, but I was somewhere else, my mind replaying that moment in the kitchen, the feel of his touch, the way I'd let myself go. As the guests left, Ryan lingered by the door, helping Ethan with his jacket. "Great party, Emily," he said, his smile polite but his eyes burning. "See you around." Tom was upstairs, tucking the boys into bed, their giggles echoing down the hall. I stood in the kitchen, washing dishes, the weight of what I'd done settling in. Guilt twisted in my gut, sharp and heavy. I love Tom, his steadiness, his laughter, the life we've built. But today, I'd crossed a line, let myself flirt with something that could destroy it all. I pulled the lace panties from my pocket, staring at them like a confession. Then I shoved them into the trash, burying them under cake crumbs and paper plates. That night, I lay beside Tom, his breathing slow and even. But sleep wouldn't come. My mind kept drifting to Ryan, his eyes, his touch, the way he saw me, not as a mom or a wife, but as a woman, raw and alive. I thought of the next school pickup, the next barbecue, the next time I'd see him. Would I feel that pull again? Would I resist it? Or would I let it consume me? The house was quiet, but inside me, a storm was brewing. I'd tasted something forbidden today, and part of me, small but undeniable, wanted more. I turned away from Tom, staring into the dark, wondering who I was becoming.